Welcome to your first C++ tutorial. For these tutorials I will be using Microsoft Visual C++ 2010 Express. This is a free IDE provided by Microsoft. In this episode I'll try and explain how this simple program works, and in later episodes we'll learn more about variables, functions, headers, statements, and the much anticipated pointers. So let's get started. I'll try and do this line by line as it will make it a lot easier. So, what is this? This is what's called a preprocessor directive. This basically tells the computer that we want to include the OutputStream header, and this will give us access to certain functions later on. White space in C++ means nothing, so I could have any number of lines before this or after this, and it won't do anything. Okay, so this is a function, this whole thing here. This is the return type of the function. An int is a number. So 1, 2, 3, those are all ints. If they have a dot on them like that, they can be either float or double. The differences are within things such as how high they can go or how low they can go, and if they have how many floating point decimals do they have. Okay, so this. Basically, this is a function, or no, a statement. Sorry, this is a function. This is a statement. Now, a statement is basically an instruction. So, let's say you need some instructions to do something like write a game. So first you have maybe player move, or first you might have initialize game, and then the next function, or the next statement, sorry, will be to, I don't know really, whatever your game does next, shoot zombie in face perhaps. So this is the OutputStream object. That's what the cout function is. Oh, it's not a function, it's an object. And this means that it is part of the std library. And no, that does not mean sexually transmitted disease. This is what's called the scope resolution operator, and this means that it's part of the standard library and not to be confused with any like function you have of cout or any object of cout that you have. So it's not actually cout, it's just how I say it. I guess that's wrong probably. I think it's cout, how it's actually supposed to be said. Now this is what's called the input stream operator. So this takes any information from this side and puts it into the left. So we're putting hello world into the output stream operator object to display it on the console. Now this is equivalent to writing this. Now this is an end line. This will tell it to go to the next line in the console. So that is helpful when needing to write several lines in the console for maybe debugging, or maybe you're making a text RPG game. Now any statement has to be followed up with a semicolon, because this means that it's the end of the statement. So when the statement is finished, it means okay, new statement. Now the next statement is a return. Now this means we are returning an int of 0. Now the main function is the entry point to your program, so this will automatically run at the start when you start up your program. So when we return 0, it means there is no error, we got to the end of the main function. So you may have a loop in the middle, an event loop if you're making a game or something, and when this finishes it will return 0 and everything will be fine. However, if you have something that errors, like maybe this doesn't work because I've done something wrong, what will happen then is it will return a number other than 0, and you'll know that you had an error somewhere in your program. There is better error handling than that, but that is a simple way to find out, and you have to return a number in the main function. So I think that's the end of the first tutorial, and the next tutorial will go over variables and how they can be used in your program. Thank you for watching, and good night.